Part 1/3. My fiancée disappeared right before our wedding, now she's trying to come back into my life. Hey Reddit. This one's a mess, so buckle up. I, 29M, was supposed to get married last year. Key phrase, supposed to. My fiancée, let's call her Jenna, 27F, disappeared the day before our wedding. Vanished. No call. No text. No note. Just a trail of chaos behind her and a bunch of stunned guests trying to figure out what the hell had happened. But now, almost a full year later, she's back. With tears. With explanations. With reasons. I honestly don't know what I'm supposed to feel. So I'm writing this to get it out of my system and maybe get some clarity. Bride with veil. How we met. Jenna and I met through mutual friends during a beach weekend 3 years ago. She had this wild, magnetic energy, the kind that makes you believe in all those rom-com clichés. Loud laugh. Ridiculous dance moves. The kind of person who draws attention in a room without trying. I was quieter. Steady. The planner. The guy who brings the snacks on trips. But something clicked. Opposites, right? We started dating and it felt like lightning in a bottle. We traveled. Cooked together. Built little rituals, Thursday night trivia, Sunday pancakes, texts full of inside jokes. There were fights, sure. Jenna could be impulsive and avoidant. But I chalked it up to growing pains. People don't come perfect. After 2 years, I proposed. Simple. Just the two of us. She cried, said yes, and posted it all over Instagram with the caption, "I said yes to my best friend ring red heart." Things got real after that. Clipboard wedding planning, or the war of florals. You know those stories about wedding planning bringing couples together? Ours wasn't that. Don't get me wrong, there were moments. Cake tastings, venue tours, trying on outfits and laughing at ourselves. But underneath it, Jenna became more distant. She'd ghost on appointments, leave decisions to me, and flinch any time we talked about vows. At first, I thought it was cold feet. I was stressed too. Family drama, budgets, logistics, the whole deal. But 3 weeks before the wedding, she started staying over at her sister's more often. She said it was to clear her head. I didn't push. I thought giving her space was the right thing. I had no idea what was coming. Collision the day before. We had a rehearsal dinner scheduled. Nothing too big, just close friends and family. I showed up. Jenna didn't. Calls, straight to voicemail. Texts, delivered, no response. Her sister showed up late, pulled me aside, and told me Jenna needed space. I laughed, thinking it was some kind of prank. A bad one. Then I saw her parents' faces, pale, tense, embarrassed. She was gone. Not like, ran an errand, gone. More like left town gone. Apparently, she'd packed a bag that morning and told no one where she was going. Just said she couldn't do it. I didn't sleep that night. Or the next. I kept checking my phone, thinking she'd text. Call. Anything. She didn't. Circus tent. The aftermath. Guests were already arriving in town. Family flew in from across the country. Vendors were paid, deposits long gone. I had to stand in front of a room full of confused people and explain that there would be no wedding. Some thought it was a joke. Some cried. My mom looked at me like her heart broke for me. My dad tried to be tough but wouldn't stop pacing. Jenna's parents apologized, they didn't know anything either. Her mom was a wreck. The weirdest part? People tried to comfort me like she died. But she wasn't dead. Just gone. I stayed in our apartment, alone, for another 2 weeks before breaking the lease. Packed everything myself. Returned gifts. Cancelled everything I could. Friends stopped knowing what to say. I stopped answering most calls. Then, like she'd never existed, Jenna vanished from social media. Deleted her Instagram. Disabled her Facebook. Changed her number. It was like she'd ghosted real life. Hourglass not done the slow climb. I won't lie, I spiraled. Not immediately. I think shock carried me for a while. But 3 months in, I was a shell. I went through the whole heartbreak cliché, binge-watching comfort shows, eating garbage, sleeping too much, or not at all. Therapy helped. A little. The thing I couldn't get over wasn't just that she left. It's that she didn't say why. No message. No closure. Just a hole. I didn't date. Barely talked about her. Some days, I felt nothing. Other days, I'd see a photo of someone's wedding on Instagram and feel like I was drowning. People told me to move on. I tried. It wasn't that easy. Envelope with arrow the message. Fast forward to 10 months later. I'm sitting in a coffee shop, writing emails, when I get a message request on Instagram. A new account. No profile picture. Username looks like spam. It's her. Hey. I know I'm the last person you want to hear from, but I need to talk. Please. Just once. My heart stopped. She sent another. I owe you the truth. I've been trying to work up the courage. If you don't want to hear it, I understand. But I'm not doing this to hurt you. I stared at my screen for 15 minutes. Then I closed it. Didn't reply. Just sat there. That night, I didn't sleep again. Telephone receiver the call. 2 days later, I cracked. I messaged her back, say what you need to say. She asked to call. I said no. Then I changed my mind. The voice on the other end was familiar and completely foreign. She sounded broken. She said she'd been in therapy. That she had a complete shutdown, panic attacks, depressive spirals, and something about identity crisis. I was scared, she said. Not of you. Of myself. I thought I wanted the life we built, but I didn't know who I was anymore. She said she didn't run from me, but from the pressure, the expectations, the future she felt trapped in. I loved you, she said. I still do. I didn't say anything for a while. Then I asked, why now? She said, because I finally understand what I did. And I want to make it right. I ended the call there. Didn't yell. Didn't cry. Just hung up. Door what now? She's asked to meet in person. She says she doesn't expect us to get back together. Just wants to apologize, properly. Maybe return some things. Maybe talk like real people. Part of me wants that. Another part wants to scream. I haven't decided yet. But this whole thing opened wounds I thought were scabbed over. She's out there. Waiting. And I'm here, wondering if closure is something real or just another word we use when we want something to finally make sense. Should I meet her? Part 2/3. I met with the fiancée who disappeared before our wedding, and she told me everything. Hey Reddit. Back again. Thanks to everyone who read part 1, the support, brutal honesty, and even the funny DMs helped more than I expected. So. I did it. I met up with Jenna. I figured you deserved the full update. Hot beverage the meeting. We met at a small coffee shop downtown. Neutral ground. Not somewhere we used to go. I didn't want old ghosts haunting us through the drink menu. She showed up early. I walked in and she was already seated, nervously sipping a glass of water. No coffee. No distractions. I nearly turned around when I saw her. She looked smaller. Not physically, really, just dimmer. Like someone had turned down her brightness. We locked eyes. She stood up, then hesitated. No hug. Just a quiet, hi. I sat. She looked down at her hands for a second before speaking. Thank you for coming. I didn't think you would. I told her I almost didn't. Then she started talking. And didn't stop for nearly 30 minutes. Broken heart her sighed. She said the panic started a few months before the wedding. She felt like she was performing the life she thought she was supposed to want: house, marriage, kids. The closer the wedding got, the worse it got. Panic attacks. Crying in her car before fittings. Random bursts of rage she'd hide from everyone. She told me the night before the rehearsal dinner, she had what she described as a complete internal collapse. She packed a bag and drove to her aunt's cabin 5 hours away, a place she used to visit as a kid. She stayed there. Alone. For 2 weeks. I wasn't trying to hurt you. I just snapped. And I couldn't explain it without sounding insane. She cried while telling me all of this. Not performative crying. Just quiet, worn-out tears. She said she started therapy during that time. Stayed off the grid. Tried to figure out what the hell had happened inside her. I asked her the question that haunted me for a year. Why didn't you just tell me? She shook her head. Because I couldn't face you. I was ashamed. And because I didn't know what to say. Every explanation sounded like a betrayal. Brain the hard truths. She admitted she hadn't just run from the wedding, she'd run from us. She said being with me felt safe, stable, warm, but that somewhere deep down, she felt like she hadn't earned it. That she didn't deserve a love that pure. She grew up in a house where love came with conditions. Yelling, silence treatments, emotional distance. With me, she felt like she was playing a part she didn't understand. I loved you, but I didn't know how to be loved by you, she said. It felt like a costume I didn't fit into. That one hit hard. She apologized. Over and over. For the embarrassment, the silence, the damage. She handed me an envelope with some cash, said it wouldn't make up for the money I lost on the wedding, but it was something. She even gave me back the ring. I can't keep this, she said. I don't get to. I didn't open the envelope. I still haven't. High voltage my turn. I told her what it felt like. How humiliating it was to stand in front of people I loved and explain that I'd been left behind. How angry I was. Not just at her, but at myself, for not seeing the signs. I told her about the silence. The bitterness. The therapy. I told her how I replayed everything she ever said, trying to spot the moment she decided to leave. She listened. Eyes never leaving mine. Then she said something that felt like a punch. You were perfect. That's what made it harder. She didn't mean it as a compliment. She said she always felt like she was failing upward with me, like she was being loved more than she could return. And that guilt turned into distance. That distance turned into escape. No entry, no happy endings, yet. She asked if I hated her. I said no. She asked if I'd ever forgive her. I said maybe. She asked if there was any part of me that still loved her. I didn't answer. Because the truth is, part of me does. Or did. Or wants to. But another part remembers standing alone in that venue, watching caterers pack up uneaten food. Ice Cube aftermath. We said goodbye outside the cafe. She didn't ask to get back together. Didn't beg. Didn't try to twist the story. She said she was moving to another city. New job. New start. Different life. She asked if I'd be okay with her emailing once in a while, not to reopen anything, just to share how she's doing. I said I'd think about it. Then I walked away. I didn't look back. Package processing the wreckage. It's been a few days since that meeting. I've had time to think. Here's what I know. I'm still hurt. I don't fully trust her. But I do believe she meant what she said. People keep telling me I should be furious. That I should block her, burn the letter, toss the ring, and forget her name. But I'm not wired like that. Closure isn't about revenge for me. It's about honesty. Truth. Even when it sucks. She gave me that. Too late? Maybe. But still. Where I am now. I'm dating someone new. Slowly. Carefully. She knows the story. Doesn't push. Just listens. I've started writing again. Nothing serious. Just journaling and dumb poetry. I go running more often. It helps. I don't dream about Jenna anymore. Well, maybe once in a while. But it's different now. She's not some haunting what if. She's just a person, broken, flawed, human. Like the rest of us. Should I let her email me? That's the question I keep circling back to. She said no expectations. Just check-ins. Like an olive branch from the ruins. Part of me thinks that's fair. Another part thinks it's asking too much. I'm not sure what I'll do yet. But I know this. I'm healing. And that's more than I thought I'd be able to say a year ago. Part 3/3, my fiancée ran away the day before our wedding. Now she wants me back. Cyclone: the slow return to normal. It's been a few months since I met with Jenna. Life didn't explode, and it didn't return to what it was. It just kept going. Quietly. Like a stream that finds new ways around fallen branches. I didn't reply to her first email. It was short, polite, no strings attached. Just. Hope you're well. I'm still in therapy. Still trying to figure out who I am. Thought of you today. No pressure to reply. I didn't delete it. Didn't read it more than once. But I didn't ignore what it made me feel. Brick the emotional rubble. When someone blows up your life, even unintentionally, the rebuilding doesn't start immediately. First, you have to clear the debris. And part of that meant revisiting everything: the photos I boxed up, the wedding playlist I couldn't bring myself to delete, the journal entries I wrote in rage and pain and confusion. I realized something important: I wasn't angry at Jenna anymore. I wasn't even mourning her, not really. I was grieving the version of myself who believed nothing could go wrong. The guy who believed in fairy tales disguised as Google Calendar invites and RSVP lists. Puzzle piece: the other woman. Yes, I was dating someone new. Am dating her. Emma. She's the polar opposite of Jenna in almost every way. Introverted. Observant. Blunt, but not cruel. We went slow. Slower than slow, honestly. Our first 3 dates were just long walks where she asked me questions and let me ramble. She said early on, "If you're still in love with her, that's okay. Just don't lie about it." That kind of honesty, it rattled me. But it also gave me room to breathe. Because the truth was, I wasn't in love with Jenna anymore. I was still impacted by her. But I didn't want her back. Envelope with arrow: Jenna, again. 3 weeks ago, Jenna emailed again. This time longer. She told me about her new job. How therapy had peeled her open like an onion, tears and all. She joined a local improv group to confront her fear of imperfection. She even went on a few dates, nothing serious, she clarified. I didn't need that info, but I appreciated the candor. At the end, she wrote, "I think I'll always love you in some way. Not because we didn't get married. But because you were the first person who truly saw me, and stayed." That line gutted me. Not because I wanted her back. But because I did stay. Until she didn't. Graduation cap lessons learned the hard way. Here's the thing no one tells you about being left. It doesn't just shake your faith in the person. It shakes your faith in your judgment. I second-guessed everything for months. Did I ignore signs? Was I too blind? Did I deserve it? Eventually, I learned something therapy tried to tell me from the start. Some people leave not because you did something wrong. but because they're running from themselves. And if you happen to be in their path when they implode, you get caught in the blast. That's not love. That's collateral damage. Speech balloon. The final message. I did respond to her last email. Here's what I wrote. Jenna. I'm glad you're doing better. I've thought a lot about what you said. About love, about fear, about leaving. And I don't hold hate. I really don't. But I need to move on. Fully. And part of that means letting this chapter stay closed. So I'm not going to continue this exchange. I hope you find what you're looking for. Be well. I haven't heard from her since. I think that was the right ending. What comes after closure? Emma and I aren't rushing anything. We're not talking marriage. Not yet. Maybe not ever. But we're building something based on truth, not projections. I told her about the final message I sent Jenna. She just nodded and said, "That's a grown-up kind of goodbye." And yeah. I think she was right. Sunrise. The wedding that didn't happen. People ask if I ever think about the wedding day. I do. But not like before. Not with shame or grief or bitterness. Now, I think of it like this. That day was supposed to be the start of forever. Instead, it became the start of me learning how to stand on my own. And maybe that's not a tragic ending. Maybe it's just a different kind of beginning. Redheart. Final thoughts. If you've ever been left, by a partner, by a dream, by a life you planned, here's what I'll say. You'll survive it. You won't feel like you will. But you will. And if you can sit with the pain instead of sprinting from it, you'll come out with something better than closure. Clarity. Thank you, Reddit, for listening. For witnessing. For holding space. Op.